All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be installing this brand new Black & Decker 19-inch sand filter. Let's get started. Just want to mention this will be a two-part series. Installing this sand filter will be part one, and part two will be a heat pump from Black & Decker, also sent from Pool Parts to Go, and I can't wait to install that. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick unboxing, see how things look. Let's open up things and see what we have. So first thing you see is the manual. I like to see this first because now I can just go ahead and open up the manual and see what I need, especially for like sand. Parts and so forth. The actual filter itself. Parts in there. You got a nice base. That's going to work out really well. So everything is well packaged. I'm taking out some of the hoses now and the base. Oh yeah, it's all there. It's great. So overall, I'm really impressed here. This is well packaged. It came right to the doorstep on a pallet. We're going to one arm it here. Page 5 of the manual, 19-inch sand filter. Here's all your parts. Quick reference. Just flipped forward a couple pages and found that the 19-inch sand filter takes 130 pounds of sand. So I'm going to head off to our local pool store, come back, read through the manual, then go ahead and do the install. All right, back at it. Got the old filter system out and getting ready to install the new Black & Decker 19-inch filter. Just want to mention that whether or not you're installing a replacement filter or you're doing it brand new, the steps going forth will be the same. Just a quick note, we've had some pretty crazy weather over the last couple of days. Pouring rain while it's sunny out, cloudy, windy. So I'm shooting this video under a tent, and this is going to allow me to get the job done. I do want to mention it's going to be very nice to have one system, Black & Decker, for both the variable speed pump as well as the filter system. Let's go ahead now and take a look at all the parts that came with the filter. We have the 3 hoses that came in the box. We also have the multi-port valve. Here are some of the accessories that come with the filter. We have an item here that is used to help fill the filter with sand. We'll use that in a little bit. We have a bag of fittings along with hose clamps and screws. This also comes with some Teflon tape. So they pretty much thought of everything in this kit. Bag of laterals for the filter. And then we have, this is the clamp, an O-ring for the filter valve. And in this box we have the pressure gauge in that box. Step 1, we want to make sure the base is set up on a level, flat area. The directions call for concrete. In my application, I'm using pavers. I would not be anchoring down the base to the pavers, but I believe the weight of the filter will be sufficient in keeping everything secure. In step 2, we'll be securing our hardware to the base in order to mount the pool pump. Just a quick tip here, you'll need to flip up the base and select the correct hose for your pool pump. Also, 5/16 hardware is a perfect match for this system. I'm using all stainless. Here's a closer look at the hardware for the base. This is where the pump is going to set in. And we have this 1.5-inch stainless hex bolt coming up through. We secure the bolt by using a washer and a nut. And then we're going to put another washer on. This extra washer is going to provide a little bit more real estate for the pool pump to sit on. And then we'll add another washer on top and then a nut to cap it off. Step 3, we'll go ahead and put the pump on the base. We'll go ahead and put the rest of the hardware on. We'll fully secure it once everything is installed. Step 4, we'll put the filter on the base. Using the provided screws, we'll anchor the filter to the base. Step 5, the standpipe assembly. We're going to go ahead and put this together and talk about some of the parts. So you have the standpipe and the base. Here's the laterals. So these will go in. Once we put this in, we're going to assemble this inside the tank and add each lateral one at a time. And then we have an air release here. So when this goes in, we fill up the sand and then we put water in. This air release allows air to escape out of the tank. And it's just going to work a lot better, especially when you first start up your pump after putting new sand in. Let's go ahead and start putting our laterals on. One quick tip here is on the outer ring, there is a notch. And what you want to do is you want to put that notch right at the top. It's going to line up perfectly, go together. So we have to do this one at a time. Do our first one like that, and then we'll go ahead and do the remaining 7. Next, we'll put the standpipe down and position it as best as we can in the center of the tank. As per the directions, they recommend that you take a plastic bag. I'm just using a sandwich bag because when you put the sand in, we don't want it going down the center of the standpipe. And then this device here comes with the filter, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put the air assembly tube in between so it doesn't come out. And I'm gonna cover that plastic bag in the standpipe with this device here. So when we add our sand now, we're completely protected from sand going into the center of the standpipe. It should work pretty well. All right, gonna add the sand now, and just wanna make sure nothing moves, the tank doesn't move. Make sure that air release line stays above the sand. So I got an extra hand here. Just gonna put this in gently. You want to go nice and slow. We don't want to damage any of the laterals. I really like using this. It kind of evenly distributes the sand quite nicely. On bag 2, this takes 130 pounds of sand. So 2 full bags. Here's our last bag. We're going to do just a little bit more than half of the bag. The tank needs to be between half and 3/4 full. Now at this point, we want to make sure we don't pull on this line, pull it out. It'll defeat the purpose. I'm just going to leave this bag on until I move some sand around, make sure we don't get any down the standpipe. But it's looking pretty good. I think we're good now. We're going to go ahead now and add some water to the tank. We want to make sure the air line stays above the sand, even better if it stays outside the tank. The water is now above the sand. We're going to keep filling it up until it reaches the top of the standpipe. We just don't want to put water into the standpipe. Here's the multi-port valve. It's quite nice. We're going to go ahead and position this into the tank. But let's talk about some of the inlets and outlets. You can position this any way you want, but going out towards the pool, I'm going to put the return because that's closest to the return. And then this section right here goes to the pump. This is our waste for our discharge. Just using some plumber's grease right now. Water resistant, it works with gaskets and so forth. So we want this greased up a little bit. Just to make a better seal, we put that on the bottom of the valve. Put it in there like that. Goes on quite nicely. And now we'll position this. We'll put our air drain line, put that in there. We don't need that anymore. And ever so carefully, just put that on, and like that. And again, you can go ahead and position this valve any way you want it. This is a good position right now, facing the pump. Let's go ahead and put the collar on. So I'm just gonna line it up. So now there's 2 bolts that go across. There's a nut that goes through on each side. Just goes in like that. All right, let's get this started a little better. Like that, that's good. All right, the key here is just to tighten up a little bit on each side. That's good. Go back to this side. Just to make sure there's no leaks. Now all our inlets and outlets will require Teflon tape. Anything that has a thread on it should have Teflon tape. All right, we'll go ahead and install this gauge. You know, so I put the Teflon tape on, I go in the opposite direction. So when I wind it up here, it's not going to unravel. Just want to mention again, they provide all the hardware. Look at all these clamps. I don't have to go hunting for clamps. This is pretty awesome. Sure, fully seated in there. Pretty good. All right, guys, we got 2 more hoses to connect along with the electrical side of the pool pump, and then we'll be ready to go. Running out of daylight, so I'll finish up tomorrow. Looking forward to getting this job done. It's the following day. We're pretty close to putting this filter into service. Did a couple things off camera. Let me show you where we're at. Since the pump is in a new location, I had to run all new wire connectors and flexible conduit back to the smart switch. Here's a closer look at the new ground, all nice and shiny. That won't last too long. This pump has 2 grounds. You can see where I tie the grounds together and everything goes to the ground rod. I also went ahead and secured the pump with all stainless steel hardware. Just want to point out, last night when I was putting these fittings in, I accidentally put in the hose fitting for the waste outlet. This should have been the barb. So I corrected that off camera and we're good to go. Get this primed up. Once I have this filled up, I'll turn on the valves. Fill up the hoses. And we're just about there. Okay. Inlet on. Let's turn the outlet. That's a good sound. Let's go ahead and connect our discharge line. The first thing we're going to do on this filter is backwash. Let's go ahead and move this to backwash. Ooh, it moves really nice, brand new. She goes. She's backwashing now. Good look at the water quality. New sand, it's going to do that. She's pumping out over here. See where we're at. Okay. Starting to clear up. Per the instructions, you're not supposed to backwash more than a minute. You can damage your system. We'll just do enough. See if we can find any leaks. So I see a little leak right here. We'll have to address that. Water's pretty clear. Not seeing anything over here, so we're in good shape. This one leak. Hoses look good. Very nice. Let's switch it to rinse now. Do that for 10 or 15 seconds. Turn the pump back on. We have a lot of water in this pool. It's been raining like cats and dogs. Let's look at the quality here. It's looking nice. I got 1 leak here too, so I'm gonna have to address that. So 2 leaks, not too bad. We'll get this worked out. All right, guys, it's a couple days later. It got rained out in that last video clip, and I want to show you a couple changes I made to the system. It's working great. It's been running for 2 or 3 days now. Finally have some beautiful weather. Let's take a closer look. When we last left off, I had a couple of leaks, and part of the issue was when I put my fittings in, I just hand tightened. I should have tightened up with a wrench. That fixed 1 or 2 of those, and I just had to tighten up some hoses, and things were fine. I made 2 changes with the system. I went ahead and added this flexible hose here. I've always used this type of system on my previous pool pumps and filters, and I want to do the same here. This is an 1.5 inch line. It has a barb fitting. It's really tight and secure. I really like that, just for peace of mind. And it goes up to a barb fitting here with a union. Now later in the fall, when I go to winterize the pool, I'll just disconnect the union and then keep the tube intact, pull the pump out so the pump and both the tube come out. It'll make it super easy for disconnecting this system when we're not using the pool. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the system one more time. There we go. Black & Decker variable speed pool pump. along with a 19-inch sand filter, looking real sharp. One uniform fit there, works great, solid system. I do have to say that the variable speed pump is the heart and soul of the system here. And if you're interested in one, definitely check out my previous video on my channel regarding that pool pump. My video goes over a ton of things with it. I talk about energy use, water flow, everything you need to know about switching over to a variable speed pool pump. All right, guys, going to finish up the video now. I want to thank the crew over at Pool Parts To Go for sending this 19-inch sand filter. It's a great system, pairs beautifully with a variable speed pool pump, also from BLACK+DECKER. So definitely come on back for part 2 of this series, where I'll be installing a new heat pump for the pool, also from BLACK+DECKER. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Come on back for more videos. Take care and have a great day.